Welcome back everyone. We're going to be doing another comparison between the iPhone SE 2020 that just came out and the iPhone 7 Plus. Now, honestly, obviously you can tell the biggest difference between these two are the sizes. The thickness are about the same, though not a big difference there. Definitely when you feel them in the hand, the iPhone 7 Plus is much bigger, and that's the first thing you're going to see. But before I get too deep in this, I am giving away an iPhone SE 2020. It's going to be the product red one. If you want to enter, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All those links are linked down below so you guys can check them out from there. But looking on the front of both phones, you will automatically see that, yeah, there is already a big difference. But I think the biggest difference is probably in the price tag as well. I've been seeing a lot of iPhone 7 Pluses going for sale even on Amazon for around $250, which is, a pretty cheap price to pay for a phone that's still being supported and still pretty fast for the most part. The iPhone SE 2020 is selling for about $400 brand new. These aren't really being sold in the used market yet because obviously they just came out. But if you give it a couple months, maybe even like a couple weeks, these things will probably start popping up in the used market. Believe it or not, these things go fast. Every time a new iPhone comes out, older ones and even newer ones come out on the market pretty fast after that. I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of May we don't already see these things for $350 on eBay for a little while. So looking on the front, obviously pretty big differences too. On the iPhone 7 Plus, we have a 5.5-inch Retina IPS panel. It is 1080p and it is a pretty good panel, I think, at the end of the day. Obviously now we have those OLED panels that are probably much better, but this one has done a pretty decent job. Apple made this one, last for a couple generations, and they did a pretty decent job with it. Now, this is the generation right before True Tone came out, so this one does not have that True Tone technology where the iPhone SE 2020 does, so that's a pretty big deal in and of itself. But we do have Force Touch on this display still, which some people might prefer. The iPhone SE 2020 does have haptic feedback, but still I kind of like Force Touch. It still feels really, really good, and I probably prefer first Force Touch over haptic feedback on the iPhone SE 2020. But the panel is still good. Obviously bezel on the top and bottom, same thing as the SE 2020. But the panel on the 7 Plus I think is still good for a majority of people, where the iPhone SE 2020 does have a 4.7-inch 750p by 1334 panel, and this panel really isn't bad either. This one does have True Tone, which is really nice, and if you guys don't know what True Tone is, pretty much it adds a little bit of warmth on the display, which is really cool. Now, some people have said that, this panel isn't great, it's horrible for the price and everything, but I think it's okay. I don't think it's great, but I don't think it's bad. I think it's very average. And, for $400, I think it's okay. But again, you can do a lot in the used market with $400. You can get an iPhone 10 for $400, and I'd rather have that thing than this thing. But it is what it is. We're not going to freak out about it too much. But in terms of the display, I think I might still side with the iPhone 7 Plus, to be honest. I do like that bigger display, but this one does still look a little bit better to me. But this one is also pretty good too. So I don't think one inherently wins over the other one by crazy amounts, but it is what it is. Same amount of bezel pretty much around the phone. On the bottom, lightning ports on both these phones, and neither of these have headphone jacks or anything. And on the back, there's a pretty big difference. So on the 7 Plus, we have a dual camera setup. On the iPhone SE, we have a single camera setup. But the glass back on the iPhone SE 2020, which supports wireless charging, which is really cool. The 7 Plus does not have any wireless charging. It just has this aluminum frame. So Apple logo is also on the center on the SE 2020. Apple logo is up top, not a big deal really, but the wireless charging is a pretty big deal in my opinion. And if you're getting a phone in 2020, you better best believe that it should have wireless charging. This one does not have it, which is kind of sad, but this one does. So in the hand, the SE 2020 definitely feels better. I don't know how my video just randomly popped up. Because of that glass back, the SE 2020 definitely feels better in the hand, but the 7 Plus doesn't feel bad either. So in terms of the outside, I would probably side with the SE 2020, but the screen on the 7 Plus is what makes me kind of recommend and like this one more, but it's not really a crazy big difference between these two. Really, it just comes down to the size. If you like the bigger size, go for the 7 Plus. If you don't like it, go for the SE 2020. So IP67 on dust and water resistance on both of these. I said that kind of weird, so that's really, really cool. So that really pretty much covers it up in terms of the outside. Now, hitting on the software, what I will tell you is the SE 2020 is definitely going to outlast the 7 Plus, and that's probably going to be one of the biggest reasons to, as to why to pick up a SE 2020 over an iPhone 7 Plus. So if you currently have a 7 Plus, that's a big reason why to shift over to a SE. Now, this one started off with iOS 10. Right now, we're able to get iOS 13 on it, and it's going to get iOS 14. It might get iOS 15 too, we really don't know, but probably, safe to say it's at least going to get iOS 14. So this is going to be lasting for another year or two based on security updates as well. With the SE 2020 is going to be getting the same software lifecycle as the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max, which are the latest iPhones right now. So I'll probably tell you the SE 2020 is definitely going to beat the 7 Plus in terms of software. So definitely the SE 2020 is going to be lasting you longer than the iPhone 7 Plus for sure. However, a pretty big deal. The 7 Plus does have support with a checkmate jailbreak, which is really awesome. So you can jailbreak this phone on any version of software, whereas on the iPhone SE, it doesn't have a jailbreak yet. It will in the future, but nothing probably compared to the checkmate jailbreak on the iPhone 7 Plus. So that pretty much covers it up there. Now hitting on the performance, and I'll do a quick little speed test so you guys can kind of see the difference, but I'll do a whole separate speed test at some point. The iPhone 7 Plus has that Apple A10 Fusion chip, a quad-core CPU, and 3 gigs of RAM, with the iPhone SE has an Apple A13 Bionic chip, hexa-core CPU, and 3 gigs of RAM as well. So let's go and see which one is the faster one between both of these. Okay, so let's go ahead and load up all these apps in the background. Let's cancel all these apps, and I had a lot of them on both of them. Okay, let's load up the App Store. 3, 2, 1. And you can see iPhone SE definitely way ahead of the 7 Plus. 7 Plus took a while there. I don't even know why it took that long to do that. Let's go and load up some random thing. Let's do this one. And for some reason this one didn't load up, but I'm sure it would have been about the same, to be honest. We can start already loading up these third-party apps that I already had downloaded. Let's do Twitter. 3, 2, 1. And iPhone SE definitely faster than the 7 Plus. Facebook. 3, 2, 1. And again, iPhone SE is way faster. Instagram, 3, 2, 1. Again, iPhone SE I think was the faster one there. Netflix, 3, 2, 1. And again, iPhone SE shortly after the 7 Plus. Not a crazy big difference there, but definitely SE was faster. Quizlet, 3, 2, 1. Again, iPhone SE. And then 7 Plus a little bit right after that one. We can do Thank You, 3, 2, 1. Now I have not loaded up this app on the SE that much, so I don't know which one. Yeah, iPhone SE wins. 7 Plus a little bit after, so that one was pretty clear. Snake versus Blocks, 3, 2, 1. And again, iPhone SE is the winner shortly after the 7 Plus. Temple Run, 3, 2, 1. Now it might be a game on both of these, so we'll just see. SE is loaded. And then eventually the iPhone 7 Plus is loaded, but definitely in the beginning with SE was faster. Fruit Ninja, 3, 2, 1. And SE is already loaded. And 7 Plus a little bit after. Even the fading in effect or the loading effect was faster on the iPhone SE for sure. Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. And SE is already loading into the game, which is good. And the 7 Plus eventually gets into it after. So this phone is definitely faster than the 7 Plus for sure. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Real Racing 3, 3, 2, 1. And I guess we'll go and end it off with this. Hopefully it is downloaded on this one, because I've been having errors where some of my phones are not able to be downloading on it for some reason. And it looks like the SE is going to be getting into it a little bit faster than the SE or the 7 Plus. And we're already loaded on the SE. And again, I've stated this before, but for some reason, the SE does a really good job at these heavier intensive games, which are really cool. So I love seeing that. It's not like I want the older phone to win per se. I want the newer phone to win. And eventually we get into it on the 7 Plus, and look how big of a difference that was. That was a pretty big difference if you ask me. So definitely at the end of the day, performance-wise, the SE, definitely wins. I mean, the 7 Plus is still a decent performing phone, but between these two, there's no competition. The iPhone SE definitely wins in terms of the performance standpoint. And we'll go ahead and hit on the cameras, and like I stated before, I'll be doing a separate speed test, but I'll also be doing a separate camera test. So I'll briefly hit on them in this video, but I'll do a whole separate camera test dedicated to comparing the cameras between both of these. Now looking on the back, we have 12 megapixel sensors on all these cameras. So a single 12 megapixel camera here and a dual 12 megapixel camera here. Now honestly, as I've stated before, I think more camera sensors are the way to go, because realistically this camera on the 7 Plus can really do everything that this camera can do, but this one has that extra telephoto lens, which is really cool, and it's honestly better than not having a telephoto lens. So I'd probably end up siding with the 7 Plus. However, a big thing, the SE can do 4K at 60, where the 7 Plus can only do 4K at 30. Is it a mind-boggling difference? Probably not, but at the end of the day, it is a pretty big difference. So it's kind of like a tie in my opinion. You have capabilities on both these cameras that both of them don't have. When you combine them, then that's really good, but when they're separated, it's a little bit different. So I don't know who's a clear winner here. They're both pretty close, but eventually I'll do a full camera comparison and we'll test it there. On the front, 7 megapixel cameras on both, and both of them can do 1080p video, so one really isn't the winner here either. They're both almost exactly the same. This might be the first time on the SE saga that I think there's like a tie or something. Now, hitting on the batteries, the iPhone SE has a 1821 mAh battery. The iPhone 7 Plus has a 2900 mAh battery. Between both, I'll probably end up siding with the iPhone 7 Plus. I truly believe the SE's battery is okay, but it's definitely not like great. And that's probably one of its biggest disadvantages. I just made a video talking about that. So for sure, at the end of the day, the iPhone 7 Plus, I believe, has the better battery life between both of these for sure. Now, to kind of sum up the video, man, should you go pick up your iPhone SE? Should you pick up the iPhone 7 Plus? Should you upgrade from the 7 Plus to an SE? And what I'll tell you is that if you have your 7 Plus, I would probably almost recommend you keeping it. If you want to upgrade, I would recommend upgrading to like an iPhone 10 or 10 or iPhone 11. Those will probably do you much better. The iPhone SE is good, but I don't think it's like a great upgrade coming from a 7 Plus. You're definitely seeing noticeable improvements in speed and software updates, but other than that, I think the 7 Plus is probably still good enough for like at least another couple months or until a year comes out, and then wait until the iPhone 12 comes out, and then you can just buy a used iPhone 11 for even cheaper. So that's honestly probably what I would recommend at the end of the day, but it is what it is. The SE is a tremendous phone still for the value, kind of, except for the battery life, but that's really pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. All those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate if you guys to check it out. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.